The most expensive ingredient in big food isn't cocoa, it's time. A small brand can reach shelves in 12 weeks. A giant can spend 12 weeks getting permission to try. That gap is why big food buys instead of builds. Not because it can't invent, because inside scale, build becomes a calendar risk. Here's the contradiction nobody puts on a slide. The biggest factories can be the slowest. Packaging approvals, claims review, line validation, procurement specs, and retailer resets move at enterprise speed. One packaging change can trigger 6 to 10 internal sign-offs, and many chains give you only 1 or 2 reset windows a year. Miss the window, and your launch becomes next year's problem. So when a category is growing at approximately 15%, and your core is growing approximately 2%, every quarter you wait is a quarter your mix gets worse. Not in taste, in relevance. This isn't about creativity, it's about incentives. Public companies sell guidance as much as they sell food. So internal build becomes a dangerous project. High effort, slow feedback, uncertain lift. Early months look like a cost center. Pilot runs, design revisions, retailer meetings that end with "come back when it's proven," and many launches die before they earn attention. A category manager slides a chart across the table. The line is still up, but the slope is bending. Velocity is slipping, she says, from 12 units per store per week to 9. If we miss this shift for 4 quarters, we don't just lose growth, we lose the aisle. That's when build stops sounding responsible and buy starts sounding like insurance. You've seen this logic when PepsiCo moved to buy SodaStream, because the real purchase wasn't a machine, it was time and a demand signal that was already loud. Acquisitions purchase 3 scarce assets at once. They buy time. A brand that already has repeat purchase, with a story that travels. They buy permission. Retailers have already watched it sell, and already made space for it. And they buy attention. Inside a giant, the scarcest resource isn't capital, it's senior focus. A homegrown brand starts as a request. An acquired brand arrives as a mandate. The organization reorganizes around it. Targets attach, forecasts lock, capacity gets assigned. The project stops competing for oxygen. This is why the price can look irrational. A buyer might pay a 30% to 40% premium over the prior trading price for a company it believes it can scale. That premium isn't only about cash flows. It's the price of removing uncertainty from the calendar. You're not paying for today. You're paying to avoid being late. And when Danone completed its acquisition of Whitewave, the move read less like buying products and more like buying a growth lane that was already working at scale. Here's where it gets interesting. Deal structures reinforce the point. Earnouts, minority stakes, options to buy later, not paperwork. Exposure management. If the category keeps compounding, you own more. If it doesn't, you've limited the damage, without spending years finding out the hard way. But buying has a trap most people ignore. The acquired brand often runs on a fragile chain. 1 co-manufacturer, 2 packaging suppliers, a small quality team, and a founder who can fix a problem with a phone call. Scale turns phone calls into systems, and systems turn flexibility into lead times. So the parent brings process, spec locks, supplier audits, change control, forecast discipline, all the things that protect a mature portfolio. And sometimes those protections shave off the edge that made the brand win. A packaging refresh slows from 8 weeks to 26. A reformulation that used to take days now takes quarters. The team spends more time in meetings than in stores, but it's growing differently. Less like a wave, more like a spreadsheet. Here's the reversal. Buying feels safer than building, yet integration is where value leaks, because what you bought was speed, and your operating system is optimized for stability. The best acquirers aren't buying cool. They're buying capabilities they can't build quickly, permission they don't own, supply chains that scale without breaking, and unit economics that still work when trade spend rises 200 basis points. That's the test. Can you scale it without freezing it? And this is why building is so hard inside big food. A new brand needs smallness to learn, but a big company punishes smallness with expectations. Someone asks for a 3-year plan, then a 5-year plan, then a forecast big enough to matter this quarter, but the truth is messy. In many categories, you don't know the winning SKU until the 3rd or 4th iteration. You don't know the right price until velocity exposes you. You don't know the right message until consumers repeat it back to you. That learning loop is the real innovation, and it doesn't fit neatly into guidance cycles. Even when R&D budgets are large, they often sit around 1% to 2% of sales. Enough to improve the machine, rarely enough to rewire it. So when the market shifts, buying becomes the fastest way to change the portfolio without waiting for permission. Step back, and the system sharpens. M&A is not only a growth tactic, it's an adaptation to a market where the bottlenecks aren't ingredients. They're time, shelf access, and trust. Consumers switch faster than factory. Retailers rotate faster than committees. Investors punish dead quarters. So the industry keeps buying proven signals, then scaling them through distribution power. But that creates a higher level tension. If everyone is buying what already works, invention becomes someone else's problem. Portfolios get safer and discovery gets outsourced. And the next advantage won't belong to the company that buys the best brand. It will belong to the company that can prove a new idea faster than the acquisition cycle. So when the next category breaks open, quietly at first, ask the question most balance sheets can't answer. Who can still afford to build before the calendar runs out? Because once the signal is obvious, the price is already set. The deal becomes a race, not a choice. And the final irony is this: big food isn't purchasing product, it's purchasing months it can't manufacture. The calendar is the one line item that never discounts.